Hey, welcome to Shit They Don't Tell You. We're a CastBox original produced in partnership with Studio 71.
CastBox happens to be the fastest growing, highest rated podcast app on both iOS and Android. That's where you can find all your favorite podcasts.
You can listen to Shit They Don't Tell You wherever you get your podcasts, but we hope you give CastBox a shot because we think it's the best.
It is the best. It's better than sex.
Let's not.
It's better than sex.
Why didn't anyone tell me?
Okay, welcome to Shit They Don't Tell You. Our special guest today, Jess Lizama, the indomitable Jess Lizama. We're friends. We hang together. We vacation together.
Yeah, we do.
We're family in a lot
You're a
of ways.
lifestyle blogger, a fitness guru, a badass mother, and was a teen mother, which we'll get into in a minute.
We've known each other, 10 years or something?
10 years.
More?
Wow.
Yeah, almost.
That's a long time.
Almost.
We're family.
It was like
Yeah,
2010.
legit.
Yeah.
Since Greene was 12.
Yeah.
And she's going to be 21.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's insane. Okay, so before we start, you have a really interesting story, and that's why I'm so excited to have you on today. I don't think it may not be relatable in the sense that like a lot of people out there are going through the same exact thing as you, but I like it because it eliminates excuses. That's what I find so inspiring about it, is that it's such a crazy story and you still manage to go through it and make it to where you are right now, that anytime I'm like, oh, I can't do this because I'm too old or I'm too young or whatever, I'm too this or that, it's like, no, you're just making an excuse. And I think that excuses make it so that it's like what people tell themselves so that they don't succeed. And that it's okay to not succeed because...
And we all use them, man. Everybody uses them.
Everybody uses them. But I wanted to make this episode about like overcoming obstacles and not letting your excuses get in the way of letting you live your best life. So tell us like just a little bit about your background.
Thank you. Sorry, we were laughing a lot. So that's great. Thanks, guys. That's very, like, I feel honored that you want me to talk about it. I've never actually like talked about it openly right from like the beginning. I was a teen mom, 16 and pregnant. And 15 and pregnant, had her when I was 16.
Before it was cool.
Wow. Yeah, it was not cool. Like, I was all A student.
You're like the last person that
my gosh,
expected to have.
I had to tell all of my teachers that I was leaving school because my high school silently and gently pushed me out and asked me to do homeschool because they thought it would become like an epidemic. I was contagious at this point. You know, I had pregnancy, flu.
Right.
And
you were a military brat too.
Yeah, we moved every 2 years. So my dad, drill instructor, super strict, oldest of three. Like, how dare I so clean slate.
Yeah.
Band camp. And
nerd.
choir.
Just say it.
Huge nerd. Mathletes. Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, wow.
Nerd.
Straight A's.
Yes. Hand-me-downs.
That was your dad. Your dad was that way.
Yeah, my dad, he did that to all of us. We were all big nerds like my dad.
Oh, wait, your dad did Dungeons & Dragons or you
Yeah,
did?
my dad was the
she
dungeon
did,
master.
But he
I
taught
see.
her to be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
He was the dungeon master and we were the kids. If anybody
That's why
listening
you're
is going to
so
be like,
cool.
wow. Really
Yeah,
nerdy.
she's
Thanks,
cool as
guys.
fuck.
Yeah.
She just looks gorgeous as fuck, so you never know how cool she is.
Yeah, it's like you. I'm like, I was so confused in the beginning. I was like, what the hell? Why is she so cool? It doesn't make any sense.
And she's stunning. That's exactly it. 'Cause
You're that.
We weren't that. We were like,
And,
Yes.
I'm the same as well.
yes. And Steve is the same. You're like, whoa, how's he so cool?
It's so
like,
funny
whoa,
how
he's a
that
good-looking
puts
guy.
you-
How could he turn out this cool?
Yeah, totally. That's what I thought for sure. For
Yeah, you
sure.
know,
For
I'll
sure.
tell you
For
why,
sure.
actually.
I was like,
Again,
I'm
I was
finally
8 years
dating a
old.
popular guy. But yeah, it's so funny how your looks put you in a box when you grow up being like the chubby, like nerdy person, and then everyone's like, you're so chubby and nerdy, you need to do this and that, and like put on makeup the right way, and like they laugh at you and they make fun of you. So then you finally learn how to do all those things, and then people put you in a box like you're not relatable.
Right. But now people are like, you're so beautiful. I wonder, how do you do your makeup?
Yeah.
Show me how you do it.
And it's like, no, bitches, this is just what you told me to do. Like,
I
I'm just
did-
doing it so you like me. Like,
I did tell Nikki the other night she could get more roles if she were more ordinary looking.
she did say that.
Did
And
you really say that?
Yeah.
That's great.
'Cause
My
it's
mom
true.
actually said the same exact thing, and this sounds like I'm like totally like dude, like I agree. I agree.
Today we're talking
No.
about why Nikki should look more ordinary.
No, it was funny
Welcome our
because
guest, Jess Lizama.
like when you think of commercials, you know, they're trying to appeal to the majority of people, right? Like a general blanket of what people look like. So when you see the person on TV, you go, "Oh, that's like me." And it wasn't until I like stopped wearing makeup to commercial auditions that's when I started booking commercials.
I believe it.
Because yeah, you like when you live in LA, everyone here is a fucking 10, 15 model. They're just like out of the world, beautiful, gorgeous.
But why is every Bud Light commercial got a guy, fat dude with a beard?
He's relatable as
That's why,
fuck.
right?
Yeah,
Because he's relatable.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, if you look at sitcoms and TV shows, like the girls getting cast are not these like beautiful swan princesses walking around on the street every day. They're actually just regular looking girls. But it's hard, you lose sight of that because when gorgeous becomes the norm, you're like constantly trying to keep up with gorgeous.
So wait, where are the gorgeous ladies going?
They're supermodels.
I was gonna say, I think
they're
they get
Instagram
stuck
models.
in models.
Oh,
the model
modeling.
zone.
Well, Angelina Jolie's
They're
pretty
lifestyle
good.
bloggers.
Angelina Jolie, what about her? How does she make it?
Oh, first of all, her dad was already.
Oh, yeah, John,
Yeah, they
Mr. John
grandfathered
Boy.
her in.
Your
And
dad
then-
looks an awful lot like John Boy, by the way.
He does. I am Angelina
Yeah,
Jolie.
he really
Yeah.
does.
I don't know if
sure.
I told you guys this.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
He does look like John Voight.
Yeah.
He's signed autographs as John Voight. John Voight, I hope this
No,
doesn't
he looks
affect
dead on. And because he's in the military, when he was at your wedding, he had like the full-on general thing, which
Yeah.
is what John Voight plays in every movie because he always plays the military general who's a bad guy.
Oh.
And so I'm always like, shit.
Yeah. That was crazy. Okay, so you're in school.
I was in school.
And you're getting straight A's. You're the nerdiest person ever, playing Dungeons and Dragons, but you get pregnant.
Got pregnant by like a gangster G. Like I was the nerdiest girl, so I had no boyfriends ever. And then the first guy to pay attention to me was like in a gang and was not a good guy. I mean,
were
that
rolling with
sounds
the
terrible.
wrong crowd.
I was rolling with the wrong crowd. Like when you're young, like you're young and dumb, and you just think that love is forever, and that everyone who tells you that it's not going to be forever just doesn't know this kind of love because they've never had it before.
Right.
We were
all
just
think
bad
that
for each other.
first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so they silently pushed me out of school. I did home study. 2 people came to my baby shower, so that was real sad.
Oh.
Because when you are pregnant and you're in high school, you're not cool. You can't drink with them. You can't.
I would have
smoke
been your
with
friend,
them.
Jess.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
me
Man.
too.
It was very sad.
Two
I was like,
people. Who
2
came?
people. One of my friends and my brother.
Wow.
Yeah, my friend Don
Oh, you're
Petrie.
counting your brother?
Yeah,
Oh,
Don Petrie. You're the best. If you're out there,
man. Oh, they're both boys?
Like, I don't talk to him anymore.
I don't
but
talk
he went
to
to my
her.
baby shower.
Oh, it's her.
Or Don.
it was a girl, Dawn
my
and
bad.
Fawn.
You only had one girl at your baby shower.
Yeah, people came and dropped off gifts, but they didn't stay.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 people
Okay.
came and dropped off
So
gifts. but it
you're
was so long
feeling
ago.
very isolated.
Super isolated. Nobody talked to me. Like you just lose all of your friends. And then my parents kicked me out because they were like, "Well, if you want to have this baby, that's fine, but you're not under my house and under my rules."
So they wanted you to have an abortion.
They wanted me to have an abortion, and I was not going to do that. I wanted to have her. How I knew that at 16, I have honestly no idea.
Well, they say you feel it inside. Like there's a connection that happens. It makes it very difficult that even if you logically wanted to have an abortion, you can't physically, like you emotionally can't do it. Like you feel super connected to the fetus that's inside you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm very much like, oh man, I feel like every situation is so different. Because as a woman now, I was a kid, right? But as a woman now, I could see how, I mean, I wasn't ready for Corinne. I'm so glad I kept her, obviously. But it was fucking hard. It was hard.
What I don't know. That sounds easy. Just kidding.
I know.
Sounds so hard.
So where do you go? You get kicked out of the house. Where do you go?
Yeah, I went to her dad's house and I slept on the couch for 4 months. 4 months, 6 months, something like that. And I would
how old was her dad?
I was 16, he was 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was still living at home too.
He was living at home too. Yeah,
And the parents knew, obviously, that you were pregnant.
yes, and I was living off of WIC vouchers. And so I don't know if you know what WIC is, but it's
No.
women, infant, children, and they give you these vouchers for milk, cheese, cereal, eggs, peanut butter, like the basic necessities that you need. And that's all I ate my entire pregnancy. How I gained 70 pounds is beyond me. I mean, it was a lot of pizza and cheesecake.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it was
A
a
lot
lot
of
WIC
dairy
food.
is happening in that wick.
All dairy.
You're like, I was on the cheesecake and pizza diet, and I don't know how I gained weight.
I have no idea, guys. They were like, "You're on the verge of gestational diabetes, woman." Like,
You're like, I just eat double cheese pizza.
I don't know
Not
what the
like I'm
problem
going
is.
crazy over here.
I was 89 pounds when I got pregnant because I was 16.
Yeah.
And then I
Tiny.
was 171 the week before I had her.
Oh my God! You
And
like
she's
more than doubled.
And Jess
almost.
Lizama is like 4'11". I mean,
yeah,
let's be
I'm
real.
4'10" and a half. Thank
Yeah.
you for that extra
Yeah,
half
you're
inch. I
welcome.
love
Yeah.
Put you back there.
you. And thank you.
4'10".
4'10" and a half.
179 pounds. You said.
I'm 171.
171.
Yeah. Close. I mean,
Wow.
I was massive. And then I have this baby, and then they send you home with this baby. And by the way, they tell you nothing. They arm you with no information. You just go home and you're like, oh, there's an additional person in my family now. I guess I should know what to do.
Didn't even teach you how to swaddle the thing and all that?
Not anything.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's
I mean,
the-
20 years ago.
Yeah. What's the number one thing you would tell that Jess in the hospital going home?
You're going to fuck up. Yeah, because
Just
they don't
accept
tell
it
you
right
that.
away.
Absolutely.
Just accept that you're gonna fuck up.
I remember the first few nights, like if there's any new parents listening, like the first few nights, the baby, there's so much cooing happening and noises. And I remember listening to her like coo and move. And I'm like, oh, I got this. I'm going to be the best mom because she's so easy. And then days went on and months and years and you just fuck up and fuck up again and fuck up again. And then you just have
And
to
when you
forgive
say
yourself.
fuck up, what do you mean?
I mean, your kid's going to hate you and that's okay. You're doing it right if they hate you.
Wait,
I was very
as
strict.
a baby, or like you mean like growing up?
I was a strict mom.
Okay.
So I was Corinne will tell you, she'll be like, my mom was a mean mom, but it's because I would sit her down. She was probably 3 years old in the car before we went into Walmart. And I'm like, we're going in for toilet paper and paper towels. You're not going to have any meltdowns. You're not going to throw any fits. We're not getting any toys. We're not getting any candy. And if you do, we're leaving immediately. And she'd be like, okay, mommy. And she was great.
I love Corinne, by the way. She's, for those of you who don't know, she is, first of all, gorgeous. Like, just be out of this world. Like, I want to lock her up. She's like too gorgeous.
Me too.
And I don't want her to get taken by
Yeah, like I
anybody.
want to like scar her somehow to
No,
take it
I know
away.
She's
I know what
emotionally
you're saying,
scarred.
Nikki.
I'm
fine.
scared
Yeah.
that somebody will take her. I'm like, no,
know.
she needs to be protected.
She watches
She's
a
so
lot of
pretty.
Dateline.
A
lot of Dateline.
Good.
And she's smart, though.
I know, man. She's cool, man. She likes
badass,
all the
she's
conspiracy
smart.
stuff too. Like, which is super
Yes.
fun.
No, she's
She's
very
way into
woke.
those.
She's so woke.
Yeah, woke.
She's very woke, and she carries mace. She carries taser, and she carries one of those little cat ears that can like really
Nice.
shank someone. She's very armed.
She's very armed, folks. Back
She's
off.
very armed. Do you hear that? She
Don't
is
you
armed.
dare try to take our Corinne away.
She is armed. She is woke. She watches Dateline.
She watches Dateline, okay? You stay away.
So we made
when
it out
when
alive.
did you bridge the gap? Because now you're the coolest mom ever. Like,
Thanks.
yeah. So,
Probably at 16.
Okay.
Yeah, when she was 16, I was like, damn.
Oh, when she
she's-
was 16, yeah.
Yes. So Corinne was 16, and I was like, wow, she's the age that I was when I had her, and she's the raddest kid. We made it out alive. Like, we're not struggling anymore. We don't have to sleep in our car. We don't have to live off the dollar menu. Like,
Yeah.
we're not in this sad-ass apartment with nothing in it but, like, a bed and a TV that doesn't
So
work.
where do you
Wait,
go?
wait.
Those were all my dramas.
First of all, she really brushed over the living in a car part.
Yeah, it was only 2 nights, so I can't be like, oh, that was a
Okay.
huge part. But I feel like, because what do you think of when you're like homeless? You don't have a home.
Right.
It's so sad.
And you have a kid not having a home.
Yeah, and apparently you can't sleep in a Walmart parking lot. It's illegal. They like knocked on my window. I just hear like boom, 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 and this big flashlight in my face. And the guy with the security was like, "You can't sleep here with your baby. Sorry." And so I had to move parking lots. I honestly don't remember. I think my coping mechanism was block that shit out. But I had to leave, and I couldn't sleep in the Walmart parking lot.
You slept in the TJ Maxx parking
and then
lot.
I was in the TJ Maxx
They're
parking
super
lot.
cool about it, by the way.
We were in the
Just a
TJ
little
Maxx
shout out.
bathroom.
I just love hearing these parts because I don't know who's listening right now, but like if someone's going through that, they probably feel like they're the only person who's ever gone through that. They feel so alone, or if you're going through something like this, and it's just nice to hear
that you're not a failure. I felt like such a failure. I cried that whole night. I was just like sobbing, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I have my baby. Like, how am I failed her. Like, what are we doing in right now? I have nothing. I have not a cent to my name. I have nowhere to go. I'm in my car in a Walmart parking lot where I can't even stay. And I had just left my ex-husband in the middle of the night. It was New Year's, and never looked back.
That's the
And
best decision ever because of
It was great for everyone.
home life, domestic life was not good.
No, it wasn't good. There was a
Yeah.
lot of abuse happening, and we just weren't nice to each other. It was really toxic. And he's better off. I'm better off. Corinne's been way better off.
Right.
I just wish they'd had a better relationship because she's pretty. I mean, I look at her and I'm like, you're gonna be fucked up. Like, you didn't have a dad. I had to be that,
She is not fucked up,
but
though.
she's not.
Yeah,
She's got her shit together more than anybody.
I know.
Like,
I want to be her when I grow up.
I feel like I have to say that to like balance out the universe because I'm like, fuck, you're so good. Like,
Yeah.
What is this on this side? Oh, it's me. I'm on this side. I'm balancing that shit out.
That's hilarious.
She's very normal.
So you're on the couch at the baby daddy's house.
Yes.
The parents eventually kick you out. How do you get to the car?
My mom was finally like, this was years later. So my mom was finally like, you can come home. We miss you. We want you to be home. So once Corinne was born, they loved her. They didn't help at all. Not one penny, not one diaper, nothing. I wasn't even allowed to use my mom's body wash or shampoo. She's like,
Whoa.
your body wash or your shampoo, you're going to buy it. Your baby, your food, we sectioned things off. She was very strict. She wanted me to learn. Like, this is you're making an adult decision.
That's why you were a mean
Live an
mom.
adult life. I was a mean
Are
mom.
you glad
You-
that
'cause
that
in-
she did that?
I am. I couldn't appreciate it back then. I was like, my mom
Right.
hates me.
Yeah,
She hates me.
but like
loved me.
your version of being a mean mom was like, oh, at least I'm not my mom. Like, I'm way nicer than my mom.
I'm warning you.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna smack you upside the head with no warning. Like without warning, I'll tell you that I'm gonna do it, and then if you act out, I'm gonna do it.
Asian mom.
Yo, and 20 years ago, you could smack your kid just, and then nothing would happen. Now it's like, woo woo.
Yeah.
And you're like, what did I do?
That sounded like a party, actually.
Okay.
So then you
I
lived.
was supposed to be a police officer.
That was a police.
So then you lived with your parents, and then where do you go from there?
So we get married at 18, have Corinne at 16, get married at 18, and then divorced 21. Filed bankruptcy there shortly after. Ran from the. So when I left him, we lived in the car. Corinne and I say live. That is so. I'm stretching it. Okay, it was only 2 nights.
Okay.
But
still,
from there
2
I
nights
went
of
to
not knowing
That's
if you're
scary,
gonna have a
man.
home.
2 scary
scary.
nights. Come on, now.
Yeah.
But all of the wives, because when you live on base, I was in a cul-de-sac. All of like the military wives that I knew, the community wives, they all gave me whatever they had on them, whatever money they had, and I like used that to get a hotel room. And then a friend took us in and was awesome. But we were always living with a friend or in a back room of a house or someone's couch surfing.
Yeah.
And I always felt like, I was super indebted to that person. So I was either babysitting their kids, buying cigarettes and alcohol, and paying the bills, or Corinne and I never had our own space. So I remember very vividly, even when we lived with Olga, that Corinne and I would go and drive, and we would just take naps in the car just to be alone in our own space. To be like, this is our time. Because we never had that. We never, up until like 8 years ago, we never had our own time and our own space. It was so weird.
Like you were building a family while living on like someone else's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're kind of, you have to live by their rules, and you have to do their family things, their traditions. So we weren't able to ever celebrate what our family looked like.
You were like orphans, traveling orphans.
Yes. And I remember Corinne saying, and like, you guys are like Oprah, because I'm like, am I going to cry?
Yeah.
Cry, please.
Go
We need
ahead
the
and
ratings.
cry.
For the ratings.
Oprah and
Look in
Dr.
the camera
Phil.
while you do it, okay?
Yeah. Make sure you look that way.
Look at that fucking camera while you cry.
The close-up one. The close-up.
Is this the close-up? Yeah. So I remember Corinne being like, "Mom, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter where we go. Like, home is wherever you are, wherever we are together." That was home for her, and she said that to me, and it broke my heart.
How old was she?
She was probably 6 because.
Oh my God.
I remember. Okay, I got divorced. There was the car situation. Then I lived with friends, and then it was Corinne and I worked 2 jobs to support us. And for me, my ex-husband and I went through a very brutal, terrible custody battle. If you can be civil with your ex, fucking do it. Like, you know what I mean?
It's already hard enough.
The
as
kids
it
pay
is.
for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I just wanted us to be in a gated community, but you pay extra for that.
Yeah.
And so I worked 2 jobs. I was always I was borrowing from Dick to pay Harry, and then on payday I'd loan from 2 different loan offices from opposite ends of the town. And I paid my rent. We had a mattress on the floor, and we had a TV. And Corinne would just watch SpongeBob. She was so easy. And I would listen to Enya, guys. It was very sad. She'll tell you to this day, Corinne cannot listen to Enya.
That's a hell of a contrast.
She cannot listen to Enya.
SpongeBob with Enya in the background? Yeah, I think that's a dark time.
We were fucking dark. It was dark. Corinne would be like, "Mom, can you hold me?" And I would be like, one-arming it, because I'm like, I can't. I can barely, like, I wasn't allowed to have breakdowns. I never gave myself that.
Wow.
So if
Because
you
I had
held her,
Corinne.
you would break down.
If I held her, I would break down, and the nights, night is hard. When you go through any breakup, the nighttime is the worst.
Yeah.
You got to make yourself busy.
The loneliness,
You're
the darkness.
so lonely.
You're having to deal with a breakup, a divorce,
and a baby.
Yeah,
and she's looking to me.
and
like,
trying not to break down.
Absolutely. Like, I was teaching her at that time, I'm like, okay, you can't break down. Like, she's looking at you for coping mechanisms. She wants to know how to deal with the world and how to, manage her emotions. And I'm like, so just, you got this. And I would just pep talk the fuck out of myself.
Yeah, wow.
Wow, you're so strong.
Stiff upper lip forever, basically?
Yeah.
I mean, when did you melt down? Like
I
alone?
stub my
I
toe on a
don't.
counter, and I'm like, I can't live anymore. I'm
Nikki
done.
will melt down.
I'm done.
Yeah, she's
Well, I
always
was-
5 minutes from meltdown.
No, I love that. I was telling Nikki, I don't remember the last time I cried for myself. I'll cry for you and I'll cry for you. If you guys were crying right now, I'd be sobbing for you and with you. I'm very empathetic. I just don't give that to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't.
Because you had to be strong.
Yeah, and I feel like that was like a scab. I'm like scab. I'm just a walking scab.
Yeah, but
It's a scar now.
It's a scar.
scabs heal,
Yeah.
And
I'm scar tissue.
I don't think there's anything that's been done that can't be undone. You
Yeah.
know,
That's why I have fitness.
Yeah,
Fitness is my
Oh, I
therapy.
see.
you need an outlet.
I need to slam some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
So, where did you go from there? So you're living in an apartment. You're like barely making it.
Barely making it.
Yeah.
Corinne and I would celebrate. If you asked her, she honestly does not remember, but distinctly for a year, we would live off the $1 menu at McDonald's because you can live off the $1 menu. And some nights I couldn't eat. Some nights
until they took it away recently. You know what the hell's going on with that?
What are you doing to single parents
for
everywhere?
A fucking 6-piece of chicken nuggets. Are you out of your mind?
Did they really take it away?
Yeah, they did. Well, they brought it back recently. They go, "Oh, welcome back, the $1 menu, everybody." Yeah, right. It's the $3 menu, pal.
That makes me so sad
The
for
dollars menu.
everyone who's poor like me.
Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by McDonald's. Go check out the new $3 menu. Oh my god, just
the coffee
classic.
frap.
A classic taste at an affordable price.
For $1. 99 cents actually is what it was. And so from there, I just continued. I think we were there for a year, and then I moved in with coworkers, with a friend who I worked with. And then I met my recent ex, and then we lived with him for 4 years.
And wait, you went to school during this time too?
I went to college finally at 26. I
Yeah.
went to college. So, very late college
Still.
entry.
Like some people
went.
think, oh, I'm 24 with a kid or whatever.
No,
I'm too old for school.
Did you finish?
I loved it, and I finished. And I
What'd you
loved
get?
it.
What's your degree?
BA in science. BA in science.
Bad science. That's what I got.
Definitely wasn't English. Bachelor's in science. I wanted to be a pharmacy major.
Tight.
Yeah, and then I became a YouTuber.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Fucking weird. You were a part of my first YouTube days, as
That's
was Nikki. Shane Dawson and Totally Sketch Michael Gallagher, and Timothy Delgado. They were so. I was gonna say instrumental. Is that a
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
instrumental.
Yeah.
In my first YouTube career days, because they believed like we had ideas, great ideas, and they'd say be a part of my sketch, and I would. And then back then, it actually worked the way it was supposed to, and you got
Yeah.
people to follow you, and it was awesome.
There was no more
They
fun
would
time.
promote
then.
to
Yeah.
your channel, and then you'd have an audience, and
And you could grow, like
Yeah.
you could really grow back
Yeah.
then. It was easy.
And everyone was like, "Hey, we're doing this like together. Like, come on down." And we would all just do stuff together. There
It was
no
so
agenda.
fun.
Yeah.
There was a YouTube house. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a Maker YouTube house. I remember like being in that house and filming tons of shit.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Those were the good old days.
Those were
Abbott
the good
Kinney.
old days.
Abbott Kinney, baby.
Yep.
Yep.
And then, but like during this time, you didn't know you wanted to be a YouTuber.
No.
Like this all happened to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like your energy just like emanates from you. Like you just glow.
Thank you.
And I think good things happen to good people. So you were brought into the group because people believed in your ideas, and you're just a good person, and you're great, and you're good at what you do. But like recently, YouTube's changed, and it's not your passion anymore.
Yeah.
And so what?
Gravy train's over.
Yeah, I
You know
feel
what I'm
like
saying?
I need. Yeah, I'm making that transition where I'm like building off platform because I really want to own my brand.
Yeah.
You know, and unless you're getting the kind of views that make that CPN worth it for
Super
you.
Bowl views.
Super Bowl
That's what I always
views.
say. That's how crazy it is.
That's exactly
to make
it.
a decent living, you need to get like the same amount of views that they get on the Super Bowl.
And that's
A
if
month.
they don't demonetize you because they're like, oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you're not suitable for fucking audiences.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm sorry because I said fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just talk about whatever the fuck I want. Now that you're taking away my incentive
Exactly.
to make anything.
Yeah, and I
so
love. By the way, if you're a paper towel company, okay, and you think that me saying some bad words is the worst thing that could be associated with your product, you're
find a new
out of
business.
your fucking mind. You know what? You know what people use to clean up? I'll tell you what I've used paper towels for: clean up shit, clean up a lot of shit, cleaning up
Puke.
puke, cleaning up bodily fluids.
Here come all the
that
paper
would-
towel
bodily
ads.
fluids that would come up a
Sponsors.
very bright color if a black light was shown on it. We'll just say that.
Sponsored by Braun.
Who the hell do you think you are, paper towel companies? I want to know. Oh, you think people are just picking up? Oh, I dropped some Valentine's Day candy on the ground. Let me get a Bounty paper towel. Yeah, totally, bud. Oh, I'll pick up the little heart-shaped candies that say you're a cutie on it. And what a sweetheart. Yeah, totally. That's what's happening.
But you know what
paper
it
towel
is?
companies.
I don't even blame the
Idiots.
I don't even blame the advertisers though. I
Yeah,
blame YouTube
I blame
because
YouTube,
what they do
the
is they
algorithm.
put you in a category.
Yes.
And then the advertisers are just like they just select a box. Do you want a family-friendly YouTuber? Do you want someone that's, medium, like has maybe said some bad words here and there, but whatever? Or do you care if it's like vulgar
Or
and
do
bad
you need
words?
it to be Mormon TV?
And a lot of them are going to say
And a lot of them are
PG.
going to be like family friendly, obviously. But the thing is, YouTube determines who is family friendly and who isn't. And sometimes they take you out of that box, even if you're not even doing anything wrong.
I'm so fucking family friendly.
fucking family friendly.
I'm so fucking family friendly. I only cuss now, and that's the thing. Like, that's what I want to do. I actually want to switch over my channel since you can never leave YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's your hub.
You just want to be more you.
I want to be more me, and I want to tell
like.
people, like you say to me all the time, Jess, your energy is so bright and it's so light, and I'm like, thank you. It's an effort for me to do that. Like, sometimes I wake up and I'm really dark, and I want to draw the blinds and crawl back into bed, and I have to make the bed so that I don't crawl back into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I have bad days too. I manage them differently, and Corinne and Joe are both Scorpios, and they're dark Scorpios.
Yeah, go Scorpio.
And I'm an Aries, and I'm a light, flurry, like fairy Aries. So I don't know how to be there with them. And so I put a force filter on myself, and when like bad shit's coming my way, I kind of bounce it away. But definitely I'm human, and it you know, it sticks to me, and I'm like, fuck, I am having a shit day today. Yeah. And I want to show more of myself.
Yeah.
Of that.
I think just it's really relatable. People,
it's real.
You're a real person, and I like that about you. Again, I think like your looks put you in this box that we're like, like, oh, she's not relatable. And then you're peppy all the time, or your persona online is like peppy all the time.
Right.
And so everyone's just like, oh, I'm not this bubbly, peppy, gorgeous woman. I don't know how to even relate to this,
and guess what, I'm not either.
Exactly. And so when you share more of that, it makes me not be able to take my eyes off you.
I love listening to two hot people relate to each other while I just sit here like a fucking asshole. No, it's great.
You're hot too, honey.
Yeah, totally.
He's so handsome,
right? I love it, man. I'm like, I agree. Like, what do you say?
He's like, yes, word.
I'm like, yeah.
When you do that thing where you kiss your fingers and you point to the sky.
Yeah, bud.
Wow, that's so hot.
See, thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a Steve Greene comedy right there.
That's it, baby. 100%.
And were you ever like, dude, I feel like I'm too old I don't know what I'm doing, you know?
I feel like that now.
Yeah, because like you're in your 30s now.
Yeah.
But now you've pretty much done the whole motherhood the whole way through. Your kid is turning 21 this year.
Kid's done. You're done.
I'm
you
done.
Did it.
I can retire.
And so do you feel, because my mom had me young too, and she feels like now she's picking up from where she left off. So she feels like she's in her 20s because that's when she had me. And so now that she doesn't have to be a mom anymore, she's not a full-time mom, she's like, oh, like, her mentality is where it was in her 20s, but she feels like her age doesn't match where her mental state is.
Right.
And so she kind of feels like trapped, like she's too old to do what she wants to do.
She's stuck.
But you are attacking life, and you're like, I'm finally at a place where I love my life. And I think that's so great. And I think a lot of people need to hear that you can have kids, shit could happen to you, fucked up stuff could happen. And a lot of times people use that as an excuse to not continue and try to live the life they want to live because this thing happened. And you could forever be like, well, we were living in a car and I had a kid, so I don't know. I'm not one of these people that can go and live their dreams. I gotta, that wasn't the hand I was dealt.
It's really easy to give up.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to give in to this really mucky feeling that I have. I'm not going to try to make it better because it's easier to be here. I have never had it easy, so I guess I just take the harder road. I don't know.
Because that's what you're more familiar with?
Right, I'm more familiar. I like being uncomfortable. If I'm in a bad place,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck, I hate this. Like, I'm just going to make myself uncomfortable and make myself happy.
It motivates you.
It motivates me. And also, too, I think when you're in your 30s, you're finally in a place where you're like, fuck it. Like, I am the way that I am, and no one's going to change me because I'm in my 30s. Like, I'm not a kid anymore. I need to get my shit together. By the way, no one has it figured out. We're all fucking figuring it out.
Nobody has it figured out.
We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
I don't think I'm alone here, but I really always felt like when I looked around, it's like it felt like everyone got a memo that I didn't get. Like everyone seems to just know where they're doing, what they're doing, where they're going. Everyone just walks around like robots and like knows what they're doing. And I'm like, how come I don't know what I'm doing? Like, how come I'm not walking around?
I think that's everybody though. It's the insight of actually sitting down with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing either.
But see,
the memo,
this is the shit they don't tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that we're actually all in the same boat.
The memo actually says nobody knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Fake it till you make it. Like that's the memo we didn't get as kids,
And that's why I also don't think, I've said this many times, but I don't think that there's a special knowledge out there that we lack, that somebody else has. And it's like, oh, they got the special knowledge. We don't have it. So they can do it and I can't.
Yeah.
But I think we're all conditioned to think that because of the way that experts talk. It's like listen, this is the way things are, and I know all these things, and I promise you this is how it is. But if you really sit down with those guys, like, they don't. I mean, I think everyone's smart at two things, right? Because you spend a lot of time working in life. I think you're capable of being very smart at two things. But I think everybody else is pretty dumb at everything.
And it depends on what those two things are. Everyone has different two things.
Exactly.
And we're conditioned, though, also to believe that in our older years, I say older, anything past 25, I think when I was 19, I'm like, damn, that's old.
Yeah.
That your life is over and that you don't have time to make anything new again. Any changes. But I mean, I have a 20-year-old, I'm 37 and I'm proud to say that now. I think 5 years ago I would have been like, oh no, I'm 28 forever.
Yeah. I remember when I met you. You were 28.
I lied, right?
And you asked me how old I was. I said 23, and you said, "Oh, that's the age I tell people I am."
Oh yeah, it was true.
And then you told me that you were 28. Actually,
it's true. It's true. I own it now because it's like, fuck it. Age is just a number. It's how you feel, and like, don't die before you're dead. And so just live your life. And I finally, if anybody's out there and they're like, hey, I hate my body now. Yo, I hated my body at 35. Like, I finally love myself and everything that encompasses me. And I think when you can do that, and the earlier you can do that, the better off you'll be. The better, it's all about the rebound. And if you can rebound and you can love yourself, and I'm getting very kumbaya and woo-woo, but it's true. And it took me a really long time to learn that. And I have to tell that to Corinne every day because she compares herself on social media every day. And
it's
I'm here
so
to tell
hard
you,
not
it's
to.
fake. It's so fake.
It's so fake.
hard not
But
to.
those people don't know how hard they're fucking it up for everybody.
They're really fucking it up.
You take a picture every day at a hotel room, and you're looking out on the crystal blue beach that you made even bluer.
No,
than is natural.
They stockpile those photos. You go to a place one day, you stockpile photos, and it makes it look like you're there for a month.
Yeah, 40
Right.
photos.
And then it's like every day is like life is perfect, and look at my perfect coffee with a perfect fucking leaf in the top of the cappuccino.
I travel and I love my life, and I have
love
no bad
everything.
days.
Which, by the way, I know travel bloggers, and they're like slumming it.
Shit
they're
shows.
like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for anything.
a lot of them aren't making money.
No, because they just get paid in travel vouchers. So
Right.
they can stay at the hotel for free, they can eat there for free, but they don't make any money there. So if they ever try to come home, they don't have anywhere to live. They only are living because these hotels are paying them to stay there, but they don't actually make any money.
It's such a facade.
do it?
It's like Hollywood, right? You build a beautiful cityscape set, and you walk behind it, and it's all a bunch of fucking wood and like weird ass like.
But really, it's dead souls.
Oh no! Behind it, you just see all the screws, all the wood, all the all the framing. You see all the bullshit back there, but in front, it's like wow, and that's Instagram modeling to a T.
Yeah,
We're going to
absolutely.
talk about the rebound when we come back from this ad break. This very special ad break. Hey, hope you're enjoying this break. And also, hopefully you're subscribed on CastBox, because even though you can listen to our podcast on any app, we hope that you're listening to it on CastBox because that's the best one.
And why don't you give us a break and only use the CastBox app when you're listening to our show? I mean, you could listen to it on iOS or Android, and that's totally chill. But you'd be really giving us a break because we're on break.
None of what you're saying makes sense because they can listen to CastBox on iOS and Android. It's not mutually
Listen, I
exclusive.
don't know how it works. I don't have all the information. I just happen to know that I think it's really great.
Okay, well, great. Good for you. Also, if you can rate and review us, it really helps people find our podcast, and we'd really appreciate it.
I give Nikki an 8 out of 10.
Please excuse Steve, and please like us.
Always room for improvement.
We're trying our asses off.
All right, so you need a toilet paper because you're not trusting, the kind of toilet paper that you use very often, okay? Well, this one is the first toilet paper. It's called Freaky Fresh. It's the first toilet paper that sumo wrestlers, yes, that's right, sumo wrestlers, the sloppiest and biggest eaters who also take the biggest dumps, fully endorse Freaky Fresh. You can take the biggest, swathiest, mightiest dumps, and this is the toilet paper that'll clean up after it. And you know how cool they are? Cool enough to sponsor this show. They know what they have. Okay, you take a nice green dump.
And we're back.
You're gonna want to use this one.
And
all
we're
right?
back. We're back. Wow, what a niche audience that item was
Freaky
for.
Fresh.
That's a
Appreciate
fun
them.
ad.
Hey, we appreciate them for sponsoring.
For
the show.
sponsoring us.
Freaky
Finally,
Fresh.
a cool toilet paper company who knows what they make.
Okay.
I like that.
So, Jess,
Yes.
you've gone through a lot of different avenues in your life. It's like you've lived like 10 different lives.
I feel that way.
Right? But yet, like, you're so good at reinventing yourself. So what are you up to now? What's your life like? I feel like I follow you on Instagram, which by the way, you should follow Jess on Instagram at Jess Lizama, Jess_Lizama.
Yes.
Every day on IG stories, you're up at like 5 a.m. working out. You're working with brands. You're just. I feel like you're just always doing stuff. What's your life like right now?
Jess, you're basically the coolest person of all time. What's
No,
it like being the coolest person ever?
Corinne is the coolest person.
Yeah,
of all
everybody
time.
wants to be like Corinne.
She created Corinne.
I want to be like Corinne.
You're like, you should have as your bio, creator of Corinne.
There you go.
Ooh, I'm going to change that today.
That's good.
When you go to Instagram later, it will say Jess_Lizama. On Instagram, it'll say creator of Corinne.
TM.
I'm literally going to do
You
that.
should do that.
You know
with
the
a little
Corinne that
TM
you all
sign.
like?
Find
Yes,
it.
I'm going to find the TM. I'm going to copy and paste it into my
Everybody
bio.
knows Corinne. You know her. You like her.
We know
I
her.
wanna
We
be
love
like
her.
her.
But do
We
you know the
vacation with
creator?
her.
But do you know the creator of her? Behind every great Corinne is her mother.
Yeah.
And I am that. Now I feel like we're at that point in our careers where I felt like last year I'm like, oh man, I really got to go all in and go ham next year and figure it out because I'm not getting any younger and I'm tired of throwing shit at the wall. And in what we do, it's feast or famine because it's like an actor's life, except you're a YouTuber, blogger, influencer person. Like what are we doing? Like,
I don't
what is
know.
our job?
Right.
Nobody knows,
Our
right?
job was not around when we were
We
growing
find
up.
out what our
You
job
could
is by the
never-
week, I feel like.
Yeah, you couldn't have, when we were younger, meeting with a high school counselor, you couldn't pick this as a career. It just happened. Now it's a full-on career, and it trips me out whenever people refer to me as an influencer or
weird.
something like that. I'm like, that sounds so douchey.
I will give it to us.
Bougie.
I'll give it to us though that we really know how to make money in creative ways. Like, wouldn't you agree? Like, money comes in different avenues where you're like, oh, you can make money doing this. This is so fun.
I do love that. What social media really did is get rid of the middleman, which I am a huge supporter of. Because before you had to go to an agency, the agency finds you work through whatever advertising or whatever, wherever the agency is getting you work. But now it gets rid of the agency. You don't need it. Like, you don't need to pay a commission to somebody for work that you just get directly through yourself, through an audience that you built. You don't have to audition. That's my favorite thing because I was not good at auditioning. I was putting everything I had into acting. If you hired me on a project, I was good and confident at acting. I was not good at auditioning. Auditioning is a whole different beast. It's like you're in this room with like bright, like this room. It's like with fluorescent lights and it's nothing like the set. The casting
They're like,
director
go.
doesn't give you anything. Like, they're not actors. So it's just so different than how acting is. And so being able to get rid of the middleman and build a platform where like you can really use your voice and like say what you want, and then to be rewarded by having that be your living has been great. But then there's also that pressure of, now that it's your job, it's like creativity on demand.
Right.
Yeah.
And that can be very exhausting. For me now, I feel like, just like you and I were talking about before, do what sets your soul on fire.
Yes.
And doing podcasting makes you so happy.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy that you guys are doing it because then you're not bored with your job and you find ways to be creative because you're like, oh, I can talk about this and I want to talk about this and I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like it's a job.
It feels very much like old YouTube because it's not like it's like YouTube decided to demonetize everybody, right? Like, we're all in this box of like, our videos are demonetized. You never know if you're getting AdSense revenue anymore. It's almost impossible to make a living directly from AdSense on YouTube unless you're making huge numbers, like what we were talking about, Super Bowl numbers.
Super Bowl numbers, bro.
Right. But then, so it kind of put everyone back to where we were in the beginning, where no one was making money before. And now you just actually have to follow your passion.
You got to do what's fun.
And you just got to do things that don't pay you money. And if they do start paying you money, then that's cool. Like, that's cool too. But like, you finally get to do your voice and not what is trending. Like, you not
Whatever
following
that is, by the
trending.
way, it doesn't gotta be number stuff, because I feel like we're hunkering down on YouTube stuff right now. But it could be whatever you'd like to do. Like,
whatever.
I remember my mom, she used to make these things called shutters, where she would take like a shutter that goes next to a window, right? Where you open and close the shutter.
Yeah.
And she would use labels and put phone numbers on the shutters so that you could have all your phone numbers by your phone mounted, and she would paint flowers on it and stuff.
Oh,
It looked
that's
really
cool.
And she would put it by the phone, because we all used to have like landline phones, obviously. And then you could open the shutter and see the number of who you call, and then you close it so it doesn't look all cluttered with all these numbers on it. And my mom was so passionate about that, right? But she had 4 kids. She had like my dad was always at work, so she was always with us like constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And so she would do these things on the side, and she wanted to make it a business, but I think that always like the time constraint always stopped her from doing what she loved to do.
Yeah.
And I wish that she got to, because she's so crafty and good at that kind of stuff.
I think now is the best time for artists too because of social media.
She should
because
get back into it.
You can showcase your work like that. Like before.
Yeah, but nobody's going to want a cell phone, a number holder now. It's over. She has to walk away from that idea and find something else.
But before she would have to, find her audience through like a farmer's market or like somewhere like some flea market or something like that.
Yeah.
And now it's like you can.
But if you love it, then you can find it. So
Yes.
like wherever you are, you can find somewhere to venue whatever the hell you're
Yeah.
doing.
And that's exactly it. If someone said you're going to do what you love, but you're not going to make any money doing it, and you're like, I don't care, I'm still passionate about it,
Exactly.
that's your thing.
That's the dirty secret
Right?
about everything that
That's
I
the
think we
dirty
do.
secret.
Right. Because I was writing scripts in the basement. I've told people this before. I feel like I talk about it all the time. But
I don't even understand that sentence.
I'm writing
tell
scripts in
people
the
all the time.
basement for free because I love to do it, right? And to find out that you get paid for it later is tight. But I would have
now
done
you
it
do.
anyway. But I would have done it
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. Like when you find the thing that you like,
That's your
whether-
purpose.
No matter what the hell it is, that's your thing. Do your thing. Work while you try to do your thing. That's what I did. Like
Oh, yeah.
I was doing improv at nights and on the weekends, like fucking 4 nights a week I'm doing improv, right? And because I loved it. Period. Like, and I would have to go work an 8-hour day job. And then I'd get home and go do my improv thing, right? Like it sucked, but I would do that. And I would even intern at Upright Citizens Brigade because I had no money to pay for anything. So I would work at the Upright Citizens Brigade to pay for my classes. But I loved it. So I would have done it for free, which is what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
the whole
see, that's
jam.
the thing is that so many people talk about wanting to be successful, wanting to make money, wanting to do all this stuff, but they don't have a thing that they're passionate about. They don't focus on the why. They focus on the how.
Oh, that's a good
like,
one.
Yeah.
And I want to be famous.
Right.
And I wanna make
That's a
money.
new one too. It's like I want to be famous. What do you want to be famous for though? What do you really like? Like what do you like about yourself? And I think that's a problem with getting to know yourself too. I don't think people spend enough time alone and getting to know like what they actually like. They just see what these famous people like and then they go, "Oh, I like that too." Instead of like really getting to know yourself and figuring out what you like.
What do you see yourself doing with all this in like a couple years from now, Jess? Like
Guys,
what's next?
I'm obsessed with fitness.
Yes.
I started doing these Lacey Stone fitness boot camps last year, and I'm on my 3rd one, and I think I'm going to do them every year, all year, and I want to get ACE certified and do something with it. I want to do something where I'm helping women, helping empower other women, because every woman I know is perpetually dieting. We're always dieting. We
yeah.
have such bad relationships with food. And I felt like that was me for the longest time. I was either eating really good or I was eating really bad or I was whatever, just punishing
cheat
myself.
days.
My cheat days
Yeah.
where, just sounds bad. But fitness really is my outlet to release tension and stress. And for some people, that's meditation. For some people, that's therapy. For some people, that's driving or hiking. For me, that's like slamming a ball onto the ground with everything that I have. And then releasing endorphins because, happy people can't kill people. Like that's sorry,
Jesus
that's very
Christ. That's
specific.
the darkest shit I've ever
That
heard.
was that was from the movie
Unless you get
Legally
really happy
Blonde.
killing people.
It was Legally Blonde. She said that. I should have referenced that before and not just sound like a psycho.
Holy hell. Context, please.
Context, yeah, that was from
Clean
the
it
movie
up.
Legally Blonde. But it's true, like that makes me happy. It feels every part of my body, and I get up at 5 a.m. to do it, and I'm all about it. I'm all about meal prepping, and like I'm the crazy girl who sets alarms to eat now, and like just knowing how to fuel my body and loving where I'm at, even
Yeah.
if
And I feel like you can always tell when people are passionate about what they're doing because you have like a glow. Like I can tell that you love this. Whereas when you're doing something like on YouTube when YouTube's dying and you don't like it that much but you feel like you have to do it, like the glow, there's no glow.
I've had a Bali YouTube video ready for months.
Yeah, what is
Joe
the deal?
filmed and edited the
We
whole
all went
thing.
to
We
Bali.
went to
We
Bali
honeymooned in
like
Bali.
6 months ago.
Yes, we did, and Joe created the most
It's
beautiful
a great video.
It's great.
Yeah.
He showed it to me. Looks tight. And he's like, yeah, Jess won't post it. And I'm like, what the hell is her deal?
I have to film an intro for it, and I'm just exhausted to even
Let's film
think
it right
about
now on
that.
my phone. Jesus.
And then he's
No, but
like,
it sounds so easy, but
I
when
know.
you're not passionate about it and you don't want to do it, it's the hardest thing in the world.
it's the hardest thing in the world. And that's why when you said you were doing this, I was so excited for you guys because
Yeah.
I can see the glow.
oh, thanks.
Oh, thanks.
I can see that you guys are excited for this, and it makes me excited for you.
I just have a very shiny face. But Nikki has a glow. I agree. Nikki has a glow.
I just like to be able to talk. I feel like I've had all this stuff in me that I want to share with the world, but I don't know the way to do it on YouTube. Like YouTube, I don't know, my channel is kind of like more of an entertainment channel. Like I don't want, it's like you were talking about to Corinne, not showing that weak side or that vulnerable side. It's hard for me to show like a serious side on YouTube when I started it posting comedy sketches,
Same.
you know? And I
You feel like they're not there for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're there for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I get that now. But even so, doing like a longer format, this type of sharing this type of information, I just didn't know how to really put that into a YouTube format. I feel like this is the best outlet for me as far as like getting to share these things and sharing them with the people that we're bringing on, like you. Like I love having you guys on here and being able to like share different stories and perspectives. Because if you think about like I got into acting because I liked sharing other people's stories and perspectives by being those people on film
and sharing their stories.
Yeah, in this way I'm doing the same exact thing, but I'm bringing actual people with stories.
Well, you guys are really easy to talk to, one, and two, I feel like you can get the most out of somebody when you're talking to them. It would be really hard for me to see, like, just to look at a camera and to be this, without this human interaction, and I'm like feeding off of you. And when you smile and talk, you can actually hear the person smiling, and I feel like that's how it is when you're talking to someone and you're like talking into a microphone and not like a camera where it's just me looking into a black lens.
Yeah,
you know?
and having to pretend.
Right.
That's always the worst. That's why I know some YouTubers paint smiley faces on the cameras and stuff.
Oh, wow, okay.
So they can feel like they're talking to somebody, which is dark. But
Oh,
also
man.
it's useful, I guess.
Sad
to
but
someone.
true.
But holy shit, do they act like it? When I go to like a convention and you're trying to talk to these people, it gets pretty nuts.
We can be a little weird. Because
Well, not you. You're a normal person.
You think so?
Yeah, you're not a YouTuber, okay? When I say YouTuber, I mean the cats who are in the basement all the
I get
time.
it.
Who
Yeah,
don't talk
no
to
human
people.
interaction.
Yeah.
And then you kind of unload at the like grocery store on the person loading up your groceries, and they're like, "Man, I didn't ask for this.
Right, yeah.
I didn't need all that."
Do you think for you, though, because I've been reading a lot about how people scar their minds in order to will what they want into existence. Do you think that's what you did to get through the pain of what you're dealing with?
I don't think I knew that back then. I didn't know back then if you tell yourself that you're happy. I just knew that I hated the way that I felt. And honestly, people were like, "How did you do it?" And I'm like, guys, there's nothing special about me. I mean, maybe there is. I love myself enough to say that there is, but we all have it. It's that fight or flight syndrome, you know? If you had a baby looking up at you for every single move, like, what do I do? How do I react? What's a coping skill? You would change your tone and you would change your attitude and you'd be more positive in general. Mm-hmm. So how I was and how I am is greatly attributed to Corinne and me having her looking up to me for these life skills.
Yeah.
And I was poorly equipped. And I somehow did it. So if I can do it, anyone can.
You use your obstacles to change and grow. Some people use their obstacles to stunt their growth. And I think that's the difference.
Well, I don't think they know they're doing that.
No, they don't.
To them, they're like,
Fight
hey,
the
look,
resistance.
I got these obstacles, but
I guess I can't go farther because there's a rock in my path.
But
and
they've
you're
also
like,
been-
oh, I can go over the rock
But
if
they've
I
also
just
been
build a
taught
ladder.
that that's how it is.
I love that. And that's what it is too. You just got to fight the resistance. You got to fight. You really do. Like whatever is resisting in your life. Someone said that to me very recently. And when you feel that tug or pull, whatever it is, whether you're happy or sad or if it's personal or professionally, like that's when you push harder. Like that's when you're right there and something amazing is going to happen is when that pushback. That's
They
the universe
say
being
don't
like,
quit when you're 3 feet away from gold.
and you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't know.
Got to
But
keep
how
digging.
do I know I'm not fucking 300 feet away from
You
gold?
don't know.
I'm out of here.
And that's the journey.
gold thing
Steve.
sucks.
That's
Spent
the
30 years on
journey.
this.
That's the
What about the
journey.
cats who spend like their whole life looking for the fucking mummy and then they don't find it?
You know what I think? I think they were on the wrong path the whole time.
Oh,
I don't
man.
think
It's
they're.
true.
I think they thought they wanted this mummy so bad because they had read about it when they were a kid or whatever, and I don't think they were actually following their life path.
What about
Maybe
the
they
cat
just
who
wanted a
spent like
journey.
100 years like looking for Noah's Ark and he dies and he doesn't find it?
Well, he probably learned a lot along the way.
Probably.
Yeah, what a great novel, man.
Good
Have you ever read
Adventures.
The Alchemist?
He's like, yeah. You think while he's like
Yes.
like on his deathbed, the cat's like looking at his kids, and he's like, well, at least I learned a shit of a lot on the way, and, and then he's gone, right?
That's
Like,
tragic.
beep beep beep. Like I don't think so.
Have you ever read The
I think
Alchemist?
he's like, I wish I didn't look for Noah's Ark my whole life.
Steve,
No, I haven't read
You
The
read
Alchemist. I have no idea what you're saying.
Goddamn Alchemist.
I haven't
It's
read
all
it.
about this. And
write
anyway,
a
if you
story about this.
haven't,
To inspire people.
one of my favorite parts of The Alchemist, which by the way, you should read it. It's a really quick read. We actually read it on our honeymoon.
Yes,
in
we did.
Bali.
Super fun.
I read it and then I passed it on to Jess like in the same trip because it was so quick and easy and great.
I didn't
Your
even know I was
personal
watching YouTube
legend.
videos
It's
of
a
radical car
classic.
crashes.
You were actually on your fantasy football league chat the whole time. But
That's
anyway,
right, he was. But it's about finding your personal
That's
You know
beside
legend.
the
what?
point.
Wow. That teaches me to share private things with you.
I'm on the chat. I just ignored it. Anyway.
Personal
so
legend.
My favorite part that has to pertain to this in the Alchemist is there's a guy on the boat who wants to be an alchemist. Like
What the hell's an alchemist?
it's a guy that does magic. I don't know.
Sick.
He changes water into gold. I don't really know. But anyway,
Oh, sick.
there's only one, and he's in this like oasis of a town or whatever. And so the boy that's the protagonist of the story gets on the train with this guy that actually wants to be an alchemist. So he wants to go talk to the alchemist to learn how to be an alchemist.
Wait,
And-
so there is an alchemist on the train.
No. There's an alchemist
On the
in
boat.
in an oasis.
Okay, so he's talking to somebody else who
Oh my
they
god!
both want to be
Just
an
let me get
alchemist?
through the story.
Wait, they both want to be an alchemist?
No, the
I'm
boy
trying to
doesn't. The
understand.
boy does not want to be alchemist. He's looking for treasure.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, he gets on the boat. They both need to go to this town, and the guy that he gets on, I don't know if it was a boat or a train. I can't remember. But
it was a boat.
Oh, it was a boat. Okay, it's
important.
So, so he gets on a boat with a guy that actually wants to be an alchemist, but that guy's not meant to be the alchemist. The boy's actually meant to be the alchemist.
Oh, the guy got to be a farmer or
And so
something?
the alchemist tells the boy like, "Oh, I met that guy that wanted to be an alchemist, and he is not going to be an
he's
alchemist.
gonna be a farmer, dude. He's
But
gonna be a
so
fish farmer.
But I love that because that guy that wanted to be an alchemist, he started wanting to be an alchemist, but he learns things along the way in that pursuit of wanting to be the alchemist, and maybe that's not what you end up as. And I think that's all of us. I think that like we started wanting to be whatever we wanted to be. You want to be an improviser. I was going for acting, and we still pursue those things. But here we are doing something completely different, and now people want to be YouTubers and influencers. Or
I never
whatever.
wanted to be an improviser. I wanted to be a
What
comedian.
Okay.
And improv was what I used to
Holy
sculpt
shit.
my brain that way. Well, I'm just to clarify, if somebody else out there is judging me like, yo, this guy wanted
Wow,
to
the
be an improviser, way
different-
to aim low.
The different tiers of freaking.
I mean, it ain't hard to become
only
an
people in the
improviser.
comedy world would like
You just got to spend $300
think
bucks
that, even
somewhere.
think that about like the lowliest tier of comedy,
True.
improv.
Sure.
I
The
didn't know
fucking
that.
circus of comedy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you weren't good at stand up, so.
Yeah. Right.
No, but the point is that like you start off your journey wanting to be something, but you need to allow the freedom of maybe you were sent on that journey to not be that thing, but to learn all these other things along the way.
Be open. Don't close yourself off to other opportunities.
Yeah. And so that's how I feel about those guys that never found the mummy. I think they weren't supposed to find the mummy.
And they were
supposed
closed
to-
off.
Yeah, they were supposed to just find something else along the way.
Well, they were looking for the mummy, though.
Back to Jess,
If they didn't
though.
do it, then they failed. That's how I look at it.
This is how our conversations go in real life, though. We
Yeah.
talk about all the things.
That's-
Except I call Steve an idiot about 100 more times.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, that's true.
Like, just let me tell the fucking alchemist
Let
story.
me finish my story.
Yeah, I didn't get to finish my story.
Wait, how
Yeah,
many
but
alchemists are in this alchemist book?
Listen,
What's an alchemist?
if it took me as long as it took Nikki to tell a story, we'd be here for a long
If
time.
I didn't get interrupted thousands of times by you asking
You
the
call it
stupidest
interrupting.
question.
I sit here politely listening for a very long time. You have to admit. But then I interject a little bit, and then you call it interrupting. I'm just saying.
Okay, Jess.
Jess, who's right?
Just who's right? Pick one.
Jess, pick me, please.
Don't be wrong.
Jess, pick me.
Who needs coping mechanisms in this world? We are here for you. I pick no sides.
I like how
I'm
she
the
just
alchemist.
deflected.
You're the alchemist
I'm the
all along.
alchemist.
You're the podcasters
I am.
all along.
I am.
So,
And we
I
just
can
some
turn water
assholes.
into wine.
what would you say is your biggest struggle now?
My biggest struggle now is being creative 24/7, because we have to be, even though I'm not on YouTube all the time, I'm still on my blog. I'm still a creator who works with brands, who wants me to shove ideas their way about whatever campaign they're doing. Social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, like all the things. There's just so much content that I feel like we have to produce on the daily that I personally feel overwhelmed sometimes.
Yeah.
And I have to sometimes, and perception's reality. And I look at other people's lives and I'm like, wow, they have it really figured out and they're doing so good. They're daily with all the things. How do they keep up?
Well,
And so
usually they
I'm
have
just trying
staffs.
to-
They have a
I've
team.
noticed.
they have a
They
team.
always have teams.
Yeah.
Always.
So I'm trying to find that balance. And so for me, it's just, okay, you love fitness, then fucking do it and
Yeah.
get certified and do something with it, and like don't talk about it. That's my thing. If you're thinking about it all the time, either shit or get off the pot.
Yes.
Like, do something about it. It's execution is everything.
Yeah, the people that talk about it a lot and don't make any action steps,
Boring.
I get so frustrated.
You're like, you're full. There's so much
talk
smoke
so
around
much.
you, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're good at talking, so maybe they should be on a podcast.
Yeah, maybe they should be a motivational speaker.
Yeah, see? No, I actually do. You know what's so funny is I know so many people like that who are really good at talking, motivating themselves to ultimately do nothing.
They motivate themselves to motivate themselves.
Yes.
Right. And I'm like, what are you doing this for, man?
Yeah.
Like, what's it for? Like, what's the end game? Because I know you're motivated. That's cool. You're jacked on it.
But execution
now
is
what?
everything.
Yeah.
And
They're
what
not
are you
actually-
motivated to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say that they're motivated.
Right. And to say on Instagram how motivated they are every day to ultimately do nothing.
That's why I don't like bikini pictures with inspirational quotes. We talked about this too. Like, I'll never fucking be like, you know,
I like bikini pictures and I like inspirational
this
quotes.
love.
But together, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But together, it's also some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Some people do that because they're like, you know what, I'm very religious and it's not good to show my body, so I need to shove that in there. For me, I'm like, if I'm showing off my body, it's because I have something to say. Like, I fucking hated this part of my body, now I'm showing it to you. So
Yeah.
suck it if you don't like it.
What if
'cause I
somebody
do.
likes their body and they want to remember 9/11?
That's beautiful. I just think timing is everything, and
'Cause it's
maybe
the
not in the same
anniversary.
sentence.
Okay, they're like, hey, it's been 15 years.
And here's me in
I want to
bikini.
give a huge shout out, first of all, to remembering 9/11. Never forget. And here's this cool navy blue bikini that I just got. Looks great with my tan skin. And I want to show off that too at the same time. And maybe that's okay too, Jess.
Maybe
you
that's okay.
judgmental-
Maybe that's
you
okay.
judgmental fuck.
I'm a little bit fucking judgmental. A little bit. A little bit. I would personally
Cool.
like people to put on bikinis and be like, you know, be nice to me in this photo because I'm very sensitive, so you should be nice to each other. There's a motivational quote.
Wait, you want to take a picture in a bikini and then say, be nice to me?
No, I'm saying in general, if people were like, you know, I'm very sensitive, be nice to me, and then they threw in that motivational quote because it made sense to the picture, then it would make sense to me. But if
Yeah.
they just put up a picture and they're just like love your
Successes in the journey.
yes,
not the
it's you're a
destination.
butterfly in the universe and spread your wings, tiny caterpillar. Then I'm like, what the fuck are you really talking about?
Well,
I
they
have
want
no
you to
idea
look
what
at
you're
them
talking
and they want you to look at them.
about. Yeah, you've got
Just
a
want
great
compliments on
body.
their ass.
Yeah. Just leave no caption.
But
Just put a
but don't
peach.
you think that they're like, I'm a good person when they post that? Because it's like, I'm
inspiring
people. Yeah, exactly.
I think people need to reevaluate how they use their voices publicly.
Dude, because that's one of the big things that all these top tubers do now is like, I'm inspiring people.
Maybe
I'm
because they're uninspired.
Like, be
Yeah.
a boss, bitch.
I love that word,
I
by the
love
way.
all that
Fucking love
shit,
boss
man.
bitch.
I'm a boss, bitch, don't
Boss
you know?
bitches.
I'm
Yeah.
inspired when people are truly living their authentic selves.
Truly.
Which is really rare in the social media world. Like, it's rarely the person that's like, I'm inspiring people right now, and I work so hard to
I work
inspire
so
all
hard.
of you. And I'm so
exhausted.
tired.
I died for your fucking sins, all my viewers. That's how they talk, man.
Lord Jesus, I know.
And it's always them holding an award.
Yeah,
like,
right.
At some show that
Even
you've
though
never
I'm
heard of
exhausted,
before.
I crawled to these awards because I'm so fucking tired
For all
all
of
the
you.
time. But you know what? As I army crawled on stage and I drank some electrolytes on the way, as I picked up this heavy award and pulled myself up the podium, I did it for you.
So
And
love yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So love yourself, but really just love
really
me,
love
love my
me,
brand,
yeah.
suck my dick.
Can I tell you
See
what's
you
fucking
later.
hard for me? Speaking of, like that shit, like that's annoying, one. But two is when we get these brand deals to be authentically you, but still be in their voice too.
Right.
Right.
Like that shit
Like, you
is
can't
hard.
tell me to be authentically me and then not like my authentic self.
and not let me be funny about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love when they compliment you, like, we love your videos, we love all those things about you, but also be nothing like your videos.
Yeah. Can you just be nothing like we just asked you to be? Like, can you just be what we want you to be?
Hey, can you be really smiley all the time?
And more energy.
Yeah, more energy.
more energy.
Bigger energy.
Dude, I straight up, well, you know how they do the kickoff calls, like to like tell you what they want and stuff. I tell them on the kickoff calls, like, just so you know, like, I'm not a bubbly person, so don't ask me to be bubbly. Like, if you're gonna, like, that's my one thing. Like, don't like my videos and then ask me to, to work with you and
Like,
then
why do they
tell
like
me
your
to be
videos then?
bubbly.
Can I be on the other end of the line?
Yeah.
Nikki, that's first of all, that's great. And we're gonna circle back. We're just gonna
Yes.
we're gonna put our heads together and then we're gonna circle back with you and we'll get back to you on that, okay?
Is that the conversation?
Well,
Always.
it's like they'll circle back.
Every single
so
one.
then you do the video, and then they go, "Yeah, we just want a little bit more energy."
Listen, Nikki, we're pushing up against the way that you were acting in the video. First of all, we love it. It's perfect.
It's great.
But what we're looking for is for you to be more excited about the product.
They actually, it's
which
less
is vaginal cream.
It's less that now and more. This part alluded too much to sex. Can you take out this joke and this dick joke and this and this sex joke?
We're pushing
You're like,
up
have you seen any of my
against it.
videos?
But it's like I'm not even being vulgar with it. Like we did this that we were looking at homes and there was like a kitchen that was really small and Steve was like, "It's not the size that matters, right?" And I was like, "It kind of is." And they made me take it out.
Oh, that's so innocent.
I
Right.
know. It's like innocent stuff like that.
Yeah, but
where-
the small dick people are listening and they're going like,
But I was talking about
I
a
feel really
kitchen.
bad.
Yeah, bad on them for being dirty. You meant the kitchen really
Yes,
mattered because
yes.
it does.
And if someone wanted to think something else, that's on them.
that's on them.
It's like
how
a
they
Pixar
receive your
movie.
message.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Jess.
Thanks for having
I
me,
hope
guys.
that you out there are inspired by Jess's story. I get really inspired by it just because people, it's really easy to let excuses get in your way and bring you down and tell you that you shouldn't even try. But like you look at someone like Jess and you're like, what the fuck? What am I doing? What am I talking about? Like I need to get my shit together. So thank you for being here. Where can they find you?
Everywhere, Jess_Lizama. I know that underscore
Wow.
is really annoying. Jess Lizama on YouTube and JessLizama.com. But on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, it's
secured all of it.
Jess_Lizama.
Good job.
I got it all.
got it
It's
all.
all locked in. You
Get
got to
it.
do that.
Boss
great.
bitch.
You're a real boss bitch.
Hashtag
Did you hear
boss
that?
bitch. Hashtag inspiration.
Hashtag work
Randy
so
is
hard.
on point.
Hashtag worth it.
Hashtag mama.
Also, if you like our podcast, please rate us 5 stars. We would really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. And if you have any topics that you want us to discuss, or you have a story that you'd like to share of something that you wish that you would have known, you can drop us a message at podcast@nikki.limo. And we just want to close with some final thoughts. Final thoughts, guys?
Final thoughts. Yeah, man, I'll say this. You know, it's hard out there for pimps, okay? In America. It's hard out there, I know. But if you pick your head up, you pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and you work real hard, you too can do whatever you like, including hooking. Having sex for money which is hooking as well. You know, no, really. I mean, I really do think that you can do anything, but I get afraid of like, hey, like there's like that great Key and Peele sketch where it's
Yeah.
like, you can do anything. You can fly.
I wanted...
And like kids jumping off of cliffs and shit.
Thanks
It's like,
for...
yeah.
Thanks for the reminder, because I did want to touch on that, because they'll just make it my final thought.
Yeah.
But like, I hate when YouTubers or influencers are inspiring people and they're like, quit your job and do
Just
your passion.
do what I
Stay in
did.
school. No. Do your passion, yes. Definitely pursue your passion, but work for it. Like, if you really are passionate about it, like, save your money, do it on the side, do it for free, do it when you have your job and that's paying your bills, so that it affords you to be able to pursue your passion. And yeah, it's going to be tight and it's not going to be easy. And
Wait,
you're
it's going to be tight?
money's
that's
going to be
awesome.
tight. Money's going to be tight.
Oh, money's going to be
Yeah,
tight.
yeah.
Super tight, super tight.
And
That's awesome, though.
Can you just let me wrap up my final thoughts? You're gonna have to say no to parties. Now it just ruined my flow. Anyway, just pursue your dreams, but also don't rush it. Don't quit your job. Don't be stupid. Like don't be an idiot.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's a good wrap up.
Don't be an idiot.
My final thoughts, I was from a single mom who I wish somebody would have told me, you're going to fuck up and it's okay. I'm telling you, you're going to fuck up and it's okay. You just got to, it's all about the rebound, and you got to dust yourself off and get the fuck up. Life goes on.
Nice. I like it. Much better than Steve's final thought.
Try it again. This time,
No.
be less inspiring.
All right.
It's going to be sad.
We're done. Thank you so much, Jess.
Thanks, guys.
When you said it's going to be tight, that's good.
Shut the fuck up.
Why didn't anyone tell me?